YouTube world, this is the Car Connoisseurs channel. First and foremost, I would like to say happy holidays to you all. Sorry I've not been on in a while. I have four beautiful models. The white one being by Maisto, which is the the less inexpensive. The silver one is a reveal. All three of these are reveals. They are decent models for the time. At the time, they were nice, exquisite models, and as you know, Auto Art and Minis Champs and all of them kind of like took over. But anyway, we're here to talk about the 1989 500 SL. Now, this car is the successor to the R107, which I absolutely love. This here is the R129 chassis, and as you can see, prior to this chassis, the R107 was a little bit more regal and had a little bit more grander looks. This one is a little bit, though it looks a little bit more chubbier, it was made to perform. Now, with this body style, they did a lot of technological improvements on the engine, the suspension, and a whole host of other things, throughout the duration of its production run. And the production run was between 1989 and 2002. So that's approximately 13 years. And they had, like I said, a vast amount of improvements on this car. The one thing that you have to look out for the older models is the engine harness. You got to look out for the engine harness, which they replaced that and made more vast improvements. But the engine harness and the electrical wiring of the earlier models of these cars, you have to really look out for that because that can cost you a whole bunch of money. So if you are in need or if you are desire to have this car, that is two things I would be looking out for if you want to get an earlier model. And I would opt out of that and get the between 96 and 2002 if you can, because that's when they made those improvements. Like they enhanced the electrical system, the hydraulic suspension in the back. It was a whole bunch of different things. They even changed the engine, because they had like I think an M11, and I think they put an M13 in there, and that's just basically the engine, and like the components in the engine were just improved immensely. So I would really opt out of the earlier generations and go for the latter generation. So anyway, without further ado, here we go. The stats of it is a 5.0 liter V8 engine. Um, it puts out 326 horsepower, and it puts down 347 pounds of foot torque, and approximately 2,213 and 89 of these were built. Now, within that 213,089 of these models, they have special additions to these models, like the uh, Miglia version, which that was to commemorate the Sterling Moss 1955 race show win. And that would be, if you ever see those, that would be a silver one, like this one right here, the silver one right here. Now, though this is not the Sterling Moss version, it will be in silver, and the way you can differentiate that model or that version from any other is you would check the seats, and then you would also check the outer lining of the model. Of the car. They have red seats in it, and then throughout the lines of the car, it's engraved in red. So that's how you would differentiate that. And They have a special edition model which launched in '97, and that's just your regular special edition model. They have a Silver Arrow model to commemorate the Silver Arrow race car, and that was it's a silver car. And back then, allegedly, when they raced that car, it was made out of I think not steel, or I think it was steel. It was made out of steel. So basically, or metal, but it was a sheet metal, but like it looked had that gunmetal look, and they did that and to race the car faster because a lot of people were using paint, and I think Mercedes had to clock out at a certain time. So to shave some seconds off of the time that they had to clock out on the clock when racing, they actually decided to strip the paint from the car because they realized that, you know, it would shave off time. So that is like one of the little intricate details that I found fascinating because, I mean, come on now, you're that meticulous to where you would shave off the paint, of a car and realize that that would be a time saver. So they were that determined to win that race, and in which they actually did win. So that was just very fascinating to me. But anyway, they have other models as well, other editions. So that was the Silver Arrow edition, and they have the final edition, which came out in 2000. So, and then they have a SL edition, which came out in 2000 as well. So they have all these different editions, but like I said, between '89 and 2002, they made a lot of changes. Now, how you can differentiate an '89 from that of a '96 or a '95? If you look at the underskirts here, you see how the top part of the car, over the paint of the car is white, and then they have the gray underskirts. That's how you can tell the difference between a '89, or earlier Mercedes 500 SL, between this right here, because it's the whole car is the one color. So that's one thing that they did do, and that was in like '95. They actually done away with the gray skirts of the car, and then they started making the whole body one uniform, the one color. Let's see what else. Okay, right here, I'll go with this one right here. If you can see, if you can see the vent right here. In the earlier vents, like this one, it's square, and in the later vents, they became oval, and that was in about they made that change in like '95. So prior to '95, they were square, and then after '95, they were oval. Let's see what else they have. Mm, well, they put parking sensors, navigational systems in the later ones. Let's see what else did they do. Um, hmm. I mean, it was just a host of different other things that they did. They put the xenon headlights in there because, as you know, in '89 they didn't have xenon headlights. They kind of rounded the car out a little bit. It was a little bit boxy at first, but they put a subtle round to the grills and the under bumpers and the back of the car. So they did kind of smooth it and round it out a little bit. So instead of looking like a ice cube, it kind of looked like a shaved down cube. It was a little bit more rounded. So that was a couple of other things they did. In '95, Mercedes changed the badging of the cars. So case in point, it would be like in '89, if it was a 500 SL, then in '95 it wound up being a SL500, you know, or if you're having the S class, it went from a Mercedes 600 SEL to a SEL 600. So that's just one thing that they thought that would be, I guess, beneficial to them. You know, they always try to make those little small changes, and which I could appreciate because that's what keeps you relevant and that's what keeps you the consistency going. But this is the 500 SL. You've seen them in a array of different movies. You know, this is a car that I like, even though I like the R107 for nostalgic reasons. This is one that I can appreciate as well. It was in a lot of movies during my childhood, and I grew up watching these cars, seeing them in rap videos, just flourishing everywhere. I mean, this car was just everywhere, you know. So it has become a classic, you know, right along with the R107. And you know, I always said if I could get my hands on one, I don't care what color it is. You know, I just like the body style. Another thing that they did was they had perforated leather in the earlier ones, and then they went from that to um, the new style leather. You know, the new leather, the new seats. They put new seats in them. A lot of people don't know that they put new seats in them. You know, the seats to hug you, the massage seats, and the later ones. It was just a lot of different things that they put in this car that was different. So though you may see one and you may think that they are all the same, no, in fact, they are very different. You know, they may look the same even in the inside, but I know that they're all different. So this is pretty much it. The car was designed by Johann Tom Ford. Tom Ford. That is German, I believe. If I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong. Care to comment and let me know. But that's Johann. That could have been Indian. I don't know. But Johann. I mean, go figure. But I know that Bruno Sacco helped him design this. This was not primarily Bruno Sacco's car, but they did do collaboration to do this car, and I think that it is beautiful. And the successor to this car is the R230, which Bruno Sacco did design, and I do believe that that car was a great follow up to this one. So this would be the car. Now they had different engines. Now, for instance, um, we always talk about the 500 SL. Well, they had a 280 SL, a 300, which the stateside didn't do so well, so they opted out of that for the 320. They have a 500, which these are, and then they have the consummate 600 SL. I mean, yeah, the 600 SL, which is the V12. And then they even have the AMG version, which is the I think it's a 60. No, it's a 7.0 SL. So it's a 70 SL. Then they have a 7.3 SL, which is the absolute fastest SL of this generation that you could possibly find, which is very rare. You don't see those. So if you all have a get one of those or come across one of those, snatch that up because that is very rare. I just hope you have the money to be able to maintain those because an engine like that without adequate funds pretty much is a money pit. This car will be a money pit. But yeah, so those are the engines. So like I said, it's a diamond in the rough, you know, a true collector's car. So it's been fun. I hope to have more videos coming soon to you. I hope you all enjoy your holidays. And to all my Mercedes fans out there, keep on being enthusiasts like I will. And hope to see you again. Over and out. Till we talk again.